that I contribute a significant amount of the funds I earn from the quartering and all of that nonsense to real hard-hitting journalism all across the world in a site that I co-founded with Sydney Watson called The Publica.
That's a wild statement. I love that. What a lot of you don't know is that the money that I bring in, well, some of it is actually going towards hard-hitting journalism for a news outlet that I myself founded. So yes, that's what some of the money in my charity, my grace, when I find it just too heavy, the burden of being such a fantastic human that I have to unload some of that, I do contribute towards making sure that real journalists are getting a fair shake at, again, my own news outlet. Cool.
And today, Sydney Watson, the Publica proper, Sarah Fields, one of our journalists, and many other of our staff were all suspended from Twitter for posting a story that I'm going to talk about in a second. Most importantly, I would love to be sharing this from our main Twitter account, but we have boots on the ground right now in France that I would.
Okay, so if you don't know, Sydney Watson, she used to co-host a show with Elijah Schaffer. And Elijah Schaffer, of course, is the person who's too extreme for The Blaze. He eventually got fired from The Blaze for allegedly sexually assaulting one of their co-hosts. And so he got let go from The Blaze. Prior to him getting let go from The Blaze, however, Sydney Watson left that show. And I guess she had a little too much just hanging out with straight up neo-Nazis. Like, Elijah Schaffer is pretty damn close to a neo-Nazi as it gets. And so, you're hanging out with Elijah Schaffer all the time. And he's bringing on Nick Fuentes. He brings on Nick Fuentes to kind of be like, oh, this guy knows a lot. I mean, I'm not trying to say that I agree with everything he says, but I mean, at the end of the day, you really got to listen to what he has to say about the media, who controls it, who the media benefits. I bet you'll never guess who the answer on that question is. It's quite a question. Yes, you are going to see the answer to the blank question. And so she actually grilled Nick Fuentes. And that's where you get that wonderful clip of Nick Fuentes admitting that he's never actually been in a single relationship with a woman. He's never kissed a woman, but he talks about women all the time in a condescending way, as in, here's what a woman should be, here's what a woman should do, she should be obedient to her man, here's how a woman can be happy, here's how a woman can be fulfilled, blah, 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 she has to be a trad wife. And it's like, but have you ever, been in a relationship with a woman? Have you ever kissed a woman? Have you ever had sex with a woman? Have you ever lived with a woman? Have you ever tried to have a romantic relationship with, any of that? It's like, no, he's a very proud incel. That's why the guy spends a lot of time just searching his roommates, bedrooms for cum stains and shit like that. So she actually did a pretty good job of showing how ridiculous it is that, he tries to be an authority on a topic of which he has absolutely no interest in participating in. Could be because he, again, adores gay porn. Could be the reason why. We're not entirely sure. I mean, it's funny that I'm talking about both Nick Fuentes and Elijah Schaffer. Both of them have pretty credible allegations of being closet homosexuals. In the case of Nick Fuentes, I mean, there's the Catboy stuff, obviously, that speaks for itself. There's the roommate testimonies that said, when they were living with him, he was actually using, black lights or whatever to try and see their semen to make sure that they weren't cheating on being completely incel-y and stuff like that. And then in the case of Elijah Schaffer, I forget who called him out. It was another Herschel Walker's son, Christian Walker. Christian Walker did a whole video about how apparently Elijah Schaffer is a bisexual who then will go to a lot of these events to try and sleep with men and stuff like that, which was also a huge whoa, what the fuck? I had no idea about all this. I mean, just so many skeletons on the right. Just a wild world of skeleton and closeted hatred, it seems, going down over on that side. So anyways, that's Sydney Watson. She leaves Elijah Schaffer's show, and I thought for a while, you know what, maybe she could be one of those people who worked directly for a long time with some of the worst, disgusting ghouls, but actually someone who's to be honest with, I'm not that kind of a person. I just want to start saying that I'm more of a centrist, or I'm more of I don't want to deal with the far right or the hard right or stuff like that. Then she starts doing shows with the Quartering and partnering with the Quartering, and wouldn't you know it, Sydney Watson's own YouTube channel, all anti-trans, all anti-gay, all anti-LGBTQ+, they're all groomers, pedophiles, boom, video after video after video after video, and then it's well, yeah, I mean, I guess if you're teaming up with the Quartering, that's going to be the most profitable and lucrative model for the two of you, right? Hey, how do you make your money, Quartering? I sell bigotry and coffee. Not sometimes at the same time, sometimes not at the same time, but that's basically it. Bigotry and coffee, making lots and lots of let's just say white people very afraid of non-white people. That's what I do. Making straight people scared of gay people. That's what I do. And making cis people afraid of trans people. That's what I do. Yeah, I can do it as sometimes a neat trick. I don't have to actually go in front of a camera and then say a lot of racist stuff. I can actually just say that I'm really, really upset about DEI and this specific like property that everyone loves and maybe even loves the character. Well, that character actually isn't that great because they're not great, not because they're black or a woman or something like that. It's because it just doesn't make sense. Okay, we haven't seen, you know, like Sith lords who are black women, and then we haven't seen, you know, Jedi Knights who happen to be Asian. So this is just kind of weird, and I don't like that. It just because you should hire the best person for the job. That's it. Okay, so that is great. I do that, and I just make lots of money. Lots of money. I usually don't get flagged. I don't get called, you know, like a hate speech. I can hide the hate speech in the whole like, oh, I'm really concerned about historical accuracy when it comes to the portrayal of feudal Japan. And that's why Yatsuke, which I will call Yazuki, that's why Yatsuke actually was not a real samurai, and the Japanese hate this idea and they're super upset about it. I totally know this is true because I definitely have a real Japanese historian right now who's going to talk to you about this. Okay, turns out that person wasn't a Japanese historian. The person actually was just an American who was pretending to be Japanese, which I know in and of itself might just be a little strange and racist in order to justify, again, this racist call out of, again, a historical figure who was actually a samurai. But even then, yeah, I mean, it's again, you hide it. You do a little Mott and Bailey. That's it.
Love to be sharing from our main Twitter account. We've sent Louis Brackpool there on the ground, like literal protective gear and everything, getting all of the videos from what's going on in the France election. The Publica not only reports on France and things going on in England, but importantly there, they have less of a freedom of speech than we do. And I suspect it might be related. One of the stories we talked about earlier this week was in Sweden, where Afghan migrants did something absolutely terrible to a kid, essentially, and walked away without being charged. Walked away without being charged because, I don't know, they were culturally...
By the way, no one can say from this point on that the Quarterine is basically just a pop culture commentator, but doesn't actually, you know, go in, like, that's a flat out lie, by the way, for anyone who does that. He's got a lot of channels. He's got a straight up just political channel, but a lot of people use that as a defense, like, oh, he's just a pop culture channel. He's talking about how Star Wars is woke now, and he's talking about how the Marvel movies are all woke, and it's also woke. And it's like, well, no, he is very overtly political. You know, if the bigotry didn't tip you off, I mean, here you go. Right. And again, no one's on the other side of whenever you hear a scary story. When someone's like, hey, by the way, this is a true story. There's an immigrant in Canada who just stabbed a grandmother to death. OK, so do you stand for this? Stand for what? The evil immigrant who stabbed the grandmother to death. I was like, I don't stand for anyone stabbing a grandmother to death. It doesn't matter if they're immigrant or otherwise. I'd be more curious as to why you're focusing on the fact that they're an immigrant, though. You keep saying that. You keep saying, well, they were, did you know, Muslim? They were Muslim too. So do you stand for that? Just like Muslims stabbing grandmas. Do you stand for that? Again, not on the pro stabbing grandmother side. And in addition to that, it seems like you're really focusing, like, broadly speaking, if we look at the statistics between naturalized born citizens and immigrants, which group is causing more violent crime? And it's like, well, naturalized born citizens are. Okay. So yeah, there's going to be bad and scary stories that happen because, again, there's billions of humans on the planet. There will be some of them that do really fucked up things, but you're trying to associate the fucked up things they do with groups you don't like, right? Brown people, Muslims, immigrants. You're trying to associate that with violent crime and make people think of the two every single time they hear it. It's like, yes, another attack by a Muslim extremist immigrant to the United States here illegally. Yeah. So did you think about this?
Enriching this kid, or supposedly, right? We reported on that, and Sydney Watson had her account suspended or locked. Sarah Fields was outright suspended, and any one of our staff, our main account at the Publica, was suspended or locked down because we shared an article about migrant crime. I suspect I know why. I see what happens in the community notes anytime we report on these type of things. It is a huge wave of far leftists who are trying to sweep for this kind of stuff.
Whoa, no, I didn't know this. So apparently Sydney Watson tried to sue the Blaze, or is he trying to? Well, this is 2023. The former Blaze personality allegedly engaged in misogyny, acted like a grossly sexual nature, and reportedly drank on set. Sydney Watson sues Blaze TV over alleged abuse by Elijah Schaffer. Schaefer and Watson co-hosted You Are Here on Blaze TV between September 2021 and April 2022. A lawyer and rapper Jordan Dixon Hamilton, who also goes by stage name Patriot J, revealed Watson had filed 4-count lawsuits against the media outlet alleging Blaze TV created a tolerated hostile work environment, allowing sexual harassment, retaliation, and further discrimination against her on the basis of her sex and religion. Author and lawyer Kurt Schlitzer is representing Watson. Dixon Hamilton, who also reports on Breitbart, noted that he was previously a guest of 2 Fairbury episodes and said, "I will not express my thoughts. I'm just here to report the facts on the interesting lawsuit." I don't know what came from this though. If someone has like a follow-up, I don't like, I mean, it could still be going on, but yeah, no shit. No shit. What a surprise.
Stuff and gaslight to get our posts deboosted, but we always have all the facts thanks to the hard work that the team at the Publica does. Not only do we have someone on the ground now in France, but we've sent people to, you know, Tommy Robinson's march. We've covered things in Canada, the United States, Australia, all over the world. We just uncovered some audio recordings that reveal deep links between Hope Not Hate and the Labour campaign. So these are things, you know, that was in the UK. We were the first US English outlet to report on the Belgian government allowing pimps to complain about their hoes.
I love that he's talking about this, and he's like, there's not a hint of irony. He legitimately is proud of his journalism. The public. We were the first ones to break the story about, you know, the Belgian pimps and hoes. We were the ones who broke that story. No one else reported on it.
You know, essentially, obviously about this gypsy doing something terrible to, I mean, our beat is stuff that nobody.
Well, you kind of stopped yourself there. Were you skirting a little too close to the demonetization of YouTube? You're like, so we may have used some strong language in our headline and titling, as well as our accusations towards, so let's just say certain groups. And yeah, we're not going to apologize. We don't do that here at the Publica. Very serious outfit. But yeah, once again, I mean, is not anyone going to talk about how there's yet another scary story of an immigrant doing something scary? What do you think about that? Do you support it?
Nobody covers. Nobody wants to cover this stuff for this exact reason, right? You make a lot of enemies and you have a lot of issues like this. Right now, Louis Brackpool's literally on the ground filming super soldiers, Antifa, storming things.
Super soldiers. Yeah. They soil themselves.
Things, migrants celebrating, all this kind of stuff.
Low T cuts.
Fireworks going off, all this kind of stuff. He's on the ground putting his safety at risk for the Publica, and it's not the first time he's done it. And we have lots of people on the ground. You've seen reporting.
So are you fascists? Because you're posting this far extremist group, Antifa, that's for anti-fascist. So does that scare you because you're fascist? I would assume that you're either fascist or anti-fascist. See, I'm anti-fascist. I say fuck the fascists.
From Sav and many others.
Brave.
On thepublica.com.
Well, I guess, yeah, it is the guy who said, you know, people who say fuck Hitler, yikes, or whatever.
What I'm here to do today is raise awareness. Sure, it would be terrible if everybody shared this article because it's...
Yeah, what you're doing, again, racist fear-mongering. That's what you do for a living. You're being very overt right now, by the way. He's not normally this overt. Like, this is a lot of masks he's just throwing at the camera. But, yeah. Scary stories. I mean, are you on the other side of this? Look at the headline. It's terrible. Someone was gang raping a vulnerable 13-year-old girl and filming the assault. That sounds absolutely disgusting. One of the worst and most vile acts one can imagine. Yes. Now, statistically, is the vast majority of immigrants who come to the country in Sweden, are they doing that? Is there an overrepresentation of one specific group as opposed to this happening by other individuals? All this kind of like plays into a broader, what are you trying to tell with your stories? Like, no one is on the other side of a horrifying story. When you hear people tell you about, like, by the way, there's a person who apparently was early released from prison and they have exposed themselves. They're trying to commit sexual assault of minors, all that kind of stuff. Like, are you for that? No, absolutely not. It's scary, though. It does sound scary.
Absolutely insane. Why would we be getting suspended for covering this?
Priests? Yeah, I mean, like, if you were going to go after a systemic institution that has been both abducting and, you know, sexually assaulting minors for decades, yes, the Catholic Church. Talking thousands and thousands and in literally fucking countries around the entire planet.
Even Elon Musk himself commented on the post and said that the ban was good, saying that accounts that post images, bad images, are automatically suspended until the post is deleted.
So you were fighting with your fucking daddy? Oh no! Oh no! Apartheid Clyde! No! Papa Apartheid! It wasn't CSAM though, Elon! I swear I wasn't posting CSAM! We are a reputable journalist organization, filled with journalists. We were reporting the facts on the ground. Do you support this? They were heavily censored photos from Sweden. The fuck is wrong with all of these monsters? It's just the very people who, like, for a living, they spend all day being like, LGBTQ plus people are a danger to children. They stay away from the kids. Yes, all of them. All of them are the G word or the P word, I tell you. Every single one of them. And then it's like, hey, by the way, your account just got suspended for posting CSAM. And it's like, oh, well, that wasn't actually child sexual abuse materials. It was a heavily redacted clip to show just how evil, migrants are. And they're basically abducting children in Sweden. You don't stand for that, do you, Elon?
Well, Sarah Fields did not get an option to delete that post. Now, I understand that AI is used a lot and that Twitter or X probably caught us by accident, but it sure is curious every time we report on migrant crime, we're always dealing with this. The image that we posted was, first of all, in its unblurred version, not C-scam or whatever they call it. In its blurred version, it definitely wasn't. And it was only posted in the blurred version. And so we were completely locked down. Our entire news agency locked down. Sydney Watson's locked.
I didn't know this was where the story was going. I had no idea. The Quartering and his journalism outfit with Sydney Watson, their X accounts on fucking Twitter got locked down for allegedly posting child sexual abuse materials. Wow. Quite a scandal there, Quartering.
Down. The only reason I haven't posted the article in solidarity is the team needs me to post this stuff and get it out there. So 2 asks. One,
the only reason I haven't tripled down on posting what Elon Musk himself identified as child sexual abuse materials, that's Elon Musk. He has unbanned accounts that have posted child sexual abuse materials, just as long as they are like within the context of showing that like Muslims are evil or scary or something like that. He's like, well, this unfortunately was the video footage of a child in Afghanistan, a 12-year-old boy being sodomized with like an iron rod, and it was taken down for that reason. We are now restoring it because, of course, it's in the public interest for you to see how barbaric everyone is over there. So I'm restoring it now. But apparently, in this case, it was a little too far.
Like and share this video. Ask yourself: is anybody else reporting on this stuff? Is anybody else? Because I don't think there's anyone else that covers our beat as effectively. We have a team of about 20 people all around the world that are working extremely hard to bring real, hard-hitting.
He's essentially claiming that he's basically more important than Breitbart when it comes to like far-right racist fear-mongering about immigrants. Like no one does the coverage that we do. No one's come close. Okay? We told you about like the Sweden rapists. We told you about the Belgian rapists. We got all of them covered. No one really will do the kind of coverage we are willing to go the extra mile for. Pay me.
News to people. I know I don't talk about the Publica very often, but it's my pride and joy, and the team we have is the absolute best. So please share this, share the article, and please support us. We absolutely need you. The website operates at a massive loss every month, but it's worth it to me because the news is important.
And by the way, to the crowd who, the Grums, the Quarterings, all those kind of people who are still trying to push this, like clearly it's just racism, but they genuinely believe that Japanese people are really upset about Yatsuke being featured in the upcoming Assassin's Creed game. This is a pretty funny thing that I think Grums has fallen for this, or at least tried to do this like 3 times now. Grums, desperate to feed the narrative that Japanese people are in shambles over Yatsuke being a pro tag in the next AC game, tried to prop up a famous Japanese art director he thought was agreeing with him. 20 minutes later, said art director contradicted him. He deleted everything. He also, for a while, was going along, like, promoting this dude who turned out to just be an American, but he was saying that he was a Japanese American a Japanese national who was went to school in America and was an expert on feudal Japan history specific to the exact era in which that game takes place. I'm like, oh wow, this is clearly those are some credentials right there. This individual not only is he Japanese, but he's fluent both in Japanese and English, and he's a historian who got his master's specifically in that era, and now he's completely 100% agreeing with Grums and being like, yeah, the Japanese hate that this is happening. We're all so upset. Rubble. And it turned out that person just completely made it up. Like someone just like went in the Wayback Machine, found they had a different name, found that they were just like basically a right-wing chud, and clearly an American right-wing chud, and then they got exposed, and then he tried to double down and be like, oh, well, there's nothing wrong with having a different account that you used just for memes back in the day, and then everyone's like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/The Serfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincell, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.